Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Cozy Quiet Roads. I'm your host, Joel. I hope you are comfortable because today is going to be a pretty heavy topic. Today, we're going to talk about bad days or problems or bad times. All of us, as we navigate through life, at some point have had bad days. It could be a string of bad days, or maybe a couple of them, or maybe a bad day, just maybe a bad day at work, or a string of bad days. If you're going to break up, you have this months of sad, depressed time. Maybe if you are going through a personal struggle, maybe it could even span a year. So, all of us as we go through life have experienced bad days. I think that's the common thread that connects us all at some level. So today we're going to talk about it. In today's episode, I would like to give you a perspective on bad days. This is my personal perspective. This is based on one of the journal entries I have made. I'm very proud of it. If you're going through bad days, I think you're going to find this episode very relatable. If you're going through good days, you're going to face bad days sometime, so I think it's still relatable. One of my favorite comedians, Kenny Sebastian, in his show does this thing called Best Thing and the Worst Thing, where he asks the audience to list down the best memories they've had and the worst memories they have had. And more often than not, the observation he has is the worst memories, in retrospect, are not as bad as they seem. I think this is true for all of us. When we're going through a bad time in our life, it is so bad. I think every time I go through a bad time, it almost feels like one more day of this and I'm going to die. But obviously, I never end up dying. In retrospect, that time is not as bad as I thought it was. I don't know how this works, but I think that is true for most of us. I know there are some things that are really terrible, and however long after you take a look at that, it's still gonna sound terrible. But I think 99% of the time, most of the things in retrospect seem not as bad as they have seemed when you were going through it. That's point number one. The second point I'm trying to make is all of us, rich, poor, you're gorgeous or you're ugly or you're educated, you're not so educated, all of us have bad days in one or the other form. There is no escape of this. If you're living and you're navigating life, you have had a bad day or a string of bad days, and that is okay. We're all in this together. So, since we're all in this together, why not form a perspective on these bad times that'll help us deal with bad times in a better way? And that's the whole episode. I'm gonna read from my journal a few points I've tried to come up with, and at the end, I have a really, really special quote that I have written, so hope you enjoy that. Without further ado, let's get started. The first point I want to make is life is more complete with bad times. I always have this picture of life is a painting. It's a huge painting. You have a huge canvas, and you are the painter. You're trying to paint, and maybe all the happy times are vibrant colors, and sometimes you have to use gray to make a great painting. And also, bad times add a texture to that painting. If you know all the great paintings you have ever seen, from Mona Lisa to the painting I have made on my desk, all of them have one thing in common. The great paintings have a texture. Bad times are that texture. If you're someone who have gone through a lot of hardships in your life, I feel you as a person are more complete, and you have experiences in life that no other person have seen. The second point I want to make is life is full when you experience a wide range of emotions. All of us love to enjoy the positive emotions of love, maybe romance, joy, peace. These are all very positive emotions, and these are great. But paint this picture. you're on the deathbed. I'm so sorry, this sounds terrible, but imagine you're on the deathbed and someone comes to you and says, "Hey, have you ever experienced this very negative emotion of going through a bad time?" And if your answer is no, I would feel very terrible for you. I would feel very terrible for myself if I say no, because if you're going through life, one of the best things you could do to yourself is experience as many emotions as you can. Not to say that, hey, go do something that would make you emotional, but as you go through life, as you naturally experience emotions, one of the best things is to experience wide range of emotions. I usually give this example where if you ever had sushi, you would have known about wasabi. This terrible tasting green paste that comes with sushi, it tastes so terrible that for me represents a bad time. Yes, I love sushi, I love pizza. You're having sushi and pizza for the rest of your life. You never had wasabi. I think you're incomplete. So that's what a bad time is. It's the wasabi that comes with the sushi. You have to taste it once in a while to really enjoy sushi. Hey, that's one more very crucial point. Your bad times actually make the good times look so good. If you have been to a terrible day, at the end, the coffee you're having is gonna taste awesome. It's the same coffee you're gonna have every day, but if you're having a bad day and you end up having that coffee is gonna taste different. The point I'm trying to make is bad times make your good times look good. If you ever gone through a breakup, I think you would know this. While going through a breakup, very terrible. Very, very terrible. I went through a breakup recently, it's very terrible. But the end of it, while you come out of a breakup, every normal day is gonna look amazing. This normal day for me is great because the last 3 months have been total shit. That is the power of bad times. And the other important point of bad times, along with it being a good experience in your life, bad times really strengthen you up like no other. It's like saying, "Hey, I'm going to strip you down completely naked and make you stand in minus 20 degrees Celsius. Now you have to be strong for the next 1 hour." That's what a bad time is. It's going to make you really, really strong. How is it going to make me really strong? I think bad times really bring the best out of you. If you're going through good times, it's very rare that you're going to sit down and think about yourself or the mistakes you have made. But if you're going through bad times, it's more likely that you're going to sit down and recount what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Not to say that you would not do that otherwise. It's a good exercise to do that anyways, but we are more likely to do it if you're having a bad time. Just remember the last time I've made a mistake and it has gone terribly south. That's the day I usually sit down and recollect what went wrong. What am I doing? What did I do? And how did it go wrong? So I'm more likely to do this exercise in a bad time than a good time. I'm not saying you should have to blame yourself. That's not a great idea. But if you are brave enough to sit down and think about what actually went wrong, you're more likely to hit on a lot of jackpots in terms of what you could learn. I'll give you a sort of example. Maybe you are working at a company and somehow you have missed your deadline by 1 month and your boss has made terrible comments on your report and you're having a bad day. Obviously, you're going to be very sad. You're going to feel sad. That's okay. But after some time of feeling sad, you're going to ask yourself the question, what went wrong? Where did I do this mistake? And then you tend to recollect every step along the way. Hey, this is the reason I did that, and that is the reason I did this. Though none of them might not be causing the delay, you're more likely to learn a lot of things along the way as you recollect. And you are more likely to do this exercise of recollection when you had a bad day. If you had a good day, your boss would commend you and you would go home and drink wine and sleep off. Correct? But since your boss is not happy and you're sad, you're sitting there thinking about your life and then recounting every step of your life and asking the real questions. I think that's the power of bad times. And the other advantage is bad times really show who your true friends are in a way. Because if you're having a good time and if you are earning well and having a great life, everyone is your friend. But if you're having a terrible day, who's that one person or a couple of people who's going to reach out to you and check up on you? Those are your real friends. Or the people you rely on your bad days and they respond, they respect you, and they comfort you. Those people are who you should truly care for. And this advantage you can only gain when you're having a bad day. So your deepest beliefs and disbeliefs are often challenged in these times. And maybe your notions of life, what is the point of life? This is a very big question. Maybe I should do an episode on what is the meaning of life. But this very question of what is the meaning of life and what is religion or what am I even doing in this job, these questions are more often to arise if you are going through a bad time. And obviously, the advantage is you're going to come out of a bad time strong with more clarity. Not the one you're primed on, but the one you have thought out and stood the test of time. So what do I mean by that? For example, if you're having a breakup and you're really sad about the breakup, you're going to be crying for weeks and weeks and weeks. And one day you're going to wake up and say to yourself, why am I sad? What am I even doing here? And then you ask the question, hey, what kind of girl do I even want? And that's a great question to ask yourself, because now you reflect on relationship and ask questions like, what was missing in my ex-girlfriend? What was missing in me? How could I choose the next person wisely? What went wrong in the current relationship, though they might not have contributed to the breakup itself, but what went wrong from my side? What went wrong from their side? You might end up having stronger boundaries for yourself the next time, or you might end up selecting a great person or increasing your standards for the next person. None of this would have happened if you are not feeling bad. If you have taken that breakup lightly, you would not even have thought about these questions. So bad times are not bad after all. So the next time you're going through a bad, terrible time, maybe embrace it a bit. Tell to yourself, hey, this is great. Feel it. Enjoy it. Don't romanticize it, of course, but enjoy it. Remember these points. Life is more complete with bad times. Life is full when you experience a wide range of emotions, and that includes bad emotions, negative emotions. These are the emotions no one likes to go through it, but remember, they're wasabi. All right? And bad times bring out the best in you. They challenge your notions and your beliefs. And if you are brave enough to answer them, you emerge with more clarity. And always remember, I think my mother always used to say this, no one is going to be at the rock bottom all the time, and no one is going to be at the top all the time. If you're going through a really terrible time, it's only a sign that you're going to have better days later on. Though, if you're going through it for the first time and if you're young, it might seem impossible while you're going through it to even imagine you're going to have a brighter day. But more often than not, you will always have a better day. It's only time that you're going to have a great day. So, if as you listen through it, you're going through a really terrible time, I just want to tell you, you're going to have better days. You will have better days. Just hang in there, hold on, enjoy this part. Don't throw it away. Experience life. Be in the present. Feel sad if you have to. Feel guilty if you have to. It's okay. enjoy that emotion. It enriches you emotionally. I always think about it whenever someone calls me, one of my friends call me and tell me, hey, I've had a breakup, I'm feeling sad. I always tell them, I know what you're feeling. And I can do so only because I have gone through this terrible time of breakup myself. So I'm emotionally more mature to help others because I know what that feels. I know what I want. I know what I should tell them. They're not expecting solution. They just want me to listen to them. So yeah, bad times are bad, but they're also good in a very great way. So before I end the episode, as I promised, this is a quote I've written from my journal entry. Bear with me. It's a long one. Bad times are an inevitable part of life. When they knock your door, invite them with grace, sit with them with patience, and remember they're teaching you life's most important and beautiful lessons. And they're only making you a better and stronger person. And when they leave, remember them with empathy. This is original written by me, thank you, Joel. So if you ever cite it, please remember my name. But I think it makes a very valuable point. If bad times come and knock your door, don't keep them out because you can't keep them out for so long. What I mean by that is if you are experiencing terrible emotions, don't try to run away from them, distract them with alcohol or sex. I don't think that's a great thing to do. I think every therapist will tell you to feel your emotions, sit with them. All right. So invite them with grace, sit with them, talk to them, and with patience, of course. But remember that these emotions or these period of times that are terrible are teaching you life's greatest and most important lessons that complete you as a person, as a man, as a woman, as a person. You're more complete. It adds texture to your life. But one day, remember, they leave you. They leave you as a stronger and better person. And when they do leave you, remember them with empathy. Don't get bitter towards them. But hey, pain is a great teacher. Pain is one of the best teachers you ever meet because it won't leave you until you have learned the right lesson. So, next time you're in pain, remember pain is a great teacher. Be with it, embrace it, and maybe it'll make you a bit stronger. That's it from me today. Actually, I'm recording this pretty late at night. It's 11:30. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, drop a like, and you can always reach out to me on comments. I don't have an Instagram page for this because I hate Instagram. But if I get enough views on this on YouTube, I might end up making Instagram. I don't know. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, good night, take care, and I hope you don't have bad days. But even if you do, they're not so bad. Love you all. Bye bye.